We found something buried here, something horrible. What Dorothea Puente did behind these walls turned her boarding house into a death trap. This is the story of Dorothea Puente, the dead house landlady, whose victims checked in but never left. In the 1980s, Dorothea Puente appeared to be the perfect landlord, running a boarding house in Sacramento that catered to society's most vulnerable, the elderly, disabled, and the homeless. Known for her kind demeanor, she presented herself as a caring figure, often attending church and donating to local charities. But behind her gentle facade lurked a sinister motive. Dorota saw her tenants as opportunities, a way to fund her own lifestyle through stolen social security checks. For some, their stay at her boarding house would become permanent in the most horrifying way. In the 1982, her crimes began to surface when she was convicted of drugging elderly individuals and stealing their government checks. She served a brief prison sentence, but upon release, she returned to her own ways, this time with deadly consequences. As tenants moved into Dorothea's home, they began disappearing without explanation. She targeted those who had no close family or connections, making it easier to forge signatures and collect their benefits. Dorothea used a combination of drugs and suffocation to kill her victims, carefully disposing of their bodies by burying them in her garden. Despite the growing suspicion of neighbors and social workers, Dorothea's charm and manipulation skills kept her crimes hidden. Even when caseworkers visited to inquire about missing tenants, she would claim they had moved on or found new opportunities. The turning point came in 1988 when a social worker reported the disappearance of one of her clients, 51-year-old Alvaro Bert Montoya, a mentally disabled man who had been living in Puente's boarding house. When police arrived to investigate, they noticed freshly dug soil in her backyard. What they unearthed would shock the nation. Police began digging in Dorothea's garden and quickly uncovered human remains. Over the course of several days, they found 7 bodies buried in her backyard. Each victim had been drugged and suffocated, their deaths concealed by the very woman who had promised them care and safety. Dorothea Puente was arrested while attempting to flee to Los Angeles. Her trial captivated the community as prosecutors painted a chilling picture of a woman who preyed on the weak for financial gain. Puente pleaded not guilty, claiming the deaths were accidental or caused by natural causes. In 1993, she was convicted of 3 murders and sentenced to life in prison without parole. While she was charged with 9 killings, jurors couldn't agree on 6 of them due to lack of direct evidence. Dorothea Puente turned her victim boarding house into a house of horrors, exploiting the vulnerable to satisfy her greed. Though justice was served, her crimes serve as a grim reminder that evil can hide behind even the kindest of smiles.